Hey everybody, and welcome back to our Be a GM mode commentary for the New York Rangers. We're going to get the offseason here underway after yet another failed year of making the playoffs. Once again, we were just right outside a wild card spot, and it's just not going right for us right now. The last two seasons have been pretty disastrous, so I think we need to make some changes outside just roster. We're going to edit some of the strategies and things like that, essentially replacing our head coach with a new head coach. So we're going to be doing different strategies for the team, everything like that. But before we do that, we do need to go ahead and take a look at whose contract's expiring this year and who we need to bring back, who we can afford to let go, everything like that. So we knew this was going to be a big year in terms of re-signing players. We do have a good bit of key players here. Chris Kreider, for example, needs a contract, and he wants 4 years at $8.9 million. That is a hefty contract. We have $25 million in cap space to work with. Thankfully, McDonough does want a smaller contract. Signing him till he's 33 is actually ideal for me, so I'm going to go ahead and offer him 5.65. I think that should be good enough for 3 years. And once he hits 33, he'll probably start maybe declining a little bit. So that's honestly perfect. Now, Matt Zuccarello I don't want for more than probably 2 years, which also works because he will take probably 3.4. 2 years also gets him to 33. All right, so between those two players, and those are two key players for us, we have spent $6 million. Before I even think about signing Kreider, I honestly want to go ahead and get Sarella and Buchnevich. Because they're younger, they have a lot of room to grow. I want to go ahead and get them back. Buchnevich, I think we can afford to just go ahead and sign for 3 years. That'll put him to 27. Then we can kind of lock him up for the rest of his prime. Because these will be the 3 years that he kind of grows. So I think, you know what, 2.75 actually will work for me there. I skipped over Reeder. Reeder we're going to be able to get pretty cheap as well, so that's good to see. We'll offer him a 2.65 contract. Now here's Sarella. Sarella we're going to be able to pick up for real cheap, and that is good to see. I think he'll be ready for a spot potentially on our third line this year, which is good because our center depth overall, we have a lot of centers, but not a lot in terms of really high potential. Stepan just hasn't been getting it done, so that is a contract we could consider replacing. Kurdiles, I honestly was going to consider letting him go, but since he's willing to take a two-way deal, absolutely going to bring him back. Emerson Edom wants a 1-year deal. Let's take a look at him real quick. He's only an 82 overall. He's consistently been a fourth liner for us. For the year, he only managed, in 35 games, he had 5 points. The year before, he had 18 points in 82 games. Not a defensive player at all. You know what? I'm actually going to let Emerson Edom go. Where we have Buchnevich and Sarella coming up, we don't have room for him on this team. Now, Larson is a player that we absolutely need to get back. You can see right there, he's 22 years old. He's top 4 potential D with 81 overall right now. I'm going to go ahead and offer him a 3-year deal at $1 million. And honestly, that's going to be great because I think it's time to let Connor Murphy go. He is not happy. Honestly, same with Seeloff. Both of these guys are very unhappy right now. But what I want to do before we get too ahead of ourselves here is, first off, actually, let me check the goaltenders. Definitely don't want to forget about them. Hellberg and Shesterkin are expiring, so we want to go ahead and absolutely get Shesterkin back. We'll lock him up. That's not comforting to see. There's a chance that Shesterkin may not turn into what we want him to be. But regardless, he's going to be a good backup goalie for us. We'll offer him a 2-year, $1 million contract. And that'll give us Lundqvist and Shesterkin. And then we have Bader and Skapski. So I am actually going to go ahead and release Hellberg. I would like to pick up maybe a rookie goaltender that can just be down in the AHL in case one of these two gets injured. And we may honestly need to consider trading Shesterkin or Bader. If Shesterkin doesn't look like he's going to grow, Bader's growing pretty quickly. He's still got that starter potential. We may need to consider moving him up to the NHL, but don't want to get too ahead of ourselves here, like I said. Let's go ahead and advance a day. I realize I have not offered Kreider a contract yet, but we'll get to that here in a minute. I want to see how much cap space I have to work with after we get all these guys back. I'm not a big fan of Kreider's desired salary. Honestly, has not been providing a lot in terms of goal scoring or anything like that. And that's a pretty expensive contract. But we have $12 million to work with. We've signed the really important guys outside him, so we'll go ahead and bring him back. 4 years, we'll take him to 32. That's also when, or no, McDonough already expires in, I believe we gave him a 3-year contract. We can drop this down to probably just $8 million now. And we'll go ahead and do that. So 4 years, $8 million for Chris Kreider. And he is a franchise 91 player. He's only 28. Connor Murphy, I'd like to get just for 1 year, but I think we're going to go ahead and let Connor Murphy go. That was a player that, you know, the morale system really damaged, which is unfortunate. We'll go ahead and get Nezhlev back. Ryan Graves. Ryan Graves has the potential to grow into something in the future. Don't want to let him go just yet. Oscar Lindberg. He wants a 2-way contract, so we'll go ahead and bring him back as well. I want to get Seeloff. If I can get him for 3 years at 1.65. Yeah, 1.65. Let's see if he accepts that. Kind of doubtful, actually, that he will accept that, but we'll see. All right. We have Ryan Mantha. Again, this is another player that has potential to grow. He's 77 overall and 23 years old. Lindblad we're going to release. I looked through team chemistry before I started recording. Lindblad was a problem in the AHL, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut ties with him now. We definitely want to get Lyson a contract. He's 20 years old. He's 73. He is ready for the AHL. Definitely want to get these two guys as well. I believe this is, yeah, so this will be their first contract with the team, and both of them are absolutely ready for the AHL. We could potentially bring in Lilja as well. I think I'm going to go ahead and offer him a contract. I think our AHL team is going to look pretty good this year. We have a lot of these 70 overall, like 20-year-olds. A lot of them are looking pretty good. And we have some that will be coming up here in the next few years as well. We'll go ahead and release this Lee guy. Let's go ahead and advance another day. Get all of those guys signed and see how many roster spots that we have remaining. Alright, so we got Gentile, Dingle. Lindbergh has rejected. He no longer wants to be part of this team, so that makes that a much easier choice for us. I don't think we're really going to be needing Lindbergh anyway. So, we will go ahead and we have $3.9 million to work with here. Go to all expiring. Go ahead and release Lindbergh. He does not want to be here anymore. Go ahead and sort by just all that are ending now. We'll go ahead and we have 5 contracts that we can offer. I'm fine with letting Reynolds, Adamek, and Hanley go. So we'll do that. Now we have a left wing, a bottom six, and a center that's also a bottom six. We'll go ahead and offer both of these guys contracts. It's definitely not going to hurt to have some depth down there in the AHL. And then I believe all our goalies are signed, yes. So we should have room for potentially either 3 or 4 free agent signings. So we'll need to take a look at that. All these guys have accepted. All right, so let's go ahead now and we'll sim to free agency. All right, so here we are at free agency. Let's take a quick look at who's available. So Tyson Barrie, we won't be needing because we do have 2 fairly expensive top 2 defensemen already. Don't think we're going to want to go after him or Tyler Myers. So Myers is pretty cheap. We only have $3.9 million to work with, though. Let's go ahead and just look at 2-way forwards, defensemen, and goaltenders here. Sort by overall potential. I think this Pock guy might be something good. So Pock and Sullivan, both looking pretty good. Let's see what their roles are. So we have a power forward that is a center, and a two-way forward left winger. We are going... Well, it seems like Pock is restricted free agent. Oh, maybe not. He was drafted by the Leafs, and it seems the only team that's interested is San Jose. So we'll go ahead and offer him $0.9 million for 3 years. Nothing wrong with picking up somebody like that. Has pretty good potential to grow. Top 9 forward like that. Now here we have a couple defensemen that could be good as well. We have a 22-year-old who is a 76, 2 21-year-olds that are 75s. We'll go ahead and just offer this Grabeshkov a contract. I don't want to take... I have clicked X. I don't want to take too many of these guys away from other teams potentially. So we'll just go ahead and offer 1, and then let's take a look at goalies. So there is a potential starter, 77 overall at 22. I'm going to actually leave him out there for other teams to pick up, unless he hasn't been drafted. Let's take a look at him. He's undrafted, so it's not a computer error. Actually, we'll go ahead and offer him a contract then. And that will leave us room for 2 other players if we need any. I want to take a look, though, at our contracts and see if there's anything we need. I like to just go through the trade block to look at this. So our center core is going to look like this. So we have Bennett will be our first line center. Potentially Stepan, Buchnevich could both be on the second line, with Sorella on the third. Or Stepan could be second line, Buchnevich third line with Sorella as well. It's looking like this Vahatalo could be our fourth line center. We'll take a look at him and Morrison. Yeah, their defense just isn't good enough yet, so I'm not sure about either of these guys. We may want to pick up just a fourth line center. Our left wingers look like this, so we'll have Kreider, Reeder, potentially Gropp, and Miller as well. Miller could fill in as a center, as could Kurt Isles. So there's all of those guys. Right wing, we have Yurko for the top line, Zuccarello for the second. We have Jesper Fast and David Jones. David Jones we may be keeping down in the AHL this year. I wouldn't mind getting a grinder for that fourth line. Or a third liner. But I think we're going to have enough third liners with all our centers. Defense, we have a 92 and 90, an 85, 82, an 81, and an 81. But we have these guys here as well that have the potential to grow. So I don't think we honestly need to pick up any defensemen. And then goaltenders are, what they are. I think we're good there. So what I want to do is not go too crazy here in free agency. Want to pick up a fourth liner, preferably a right winger or center grinder. I don't want somebody too old or too expensive. Like Shaw here is, clearly too expensive, and he doesn't fit the role we're looking for. We could go out and grab someone like Chiasson, but again, we're looking for mainly just a fourth liner. Silverberg wouldn't be bad. Again, just a third liner though. So let's take a look here at Reeves and Weiss. I think Weiss may be a good one to pick up. The two-way forward and a grinder here in Reeves. Reeves' discipline is pretty terrible, but Dale Weiss's isn't much better. Physically, Ryan Reeves is the stronger of the two. I think he's a little better defensively. Poise is a little better. Are there any other fourth liners? We have Biggs, who is young, and let's take a look at Devontae Smith-Pelly as well. All right, so Biggs is a power forward. He does have potential to grow to a top 6, but he's 26, only 81 overall. Probably not going to go for him. I think Devontae Smith-Pelly may be the best choice. His discipline's a lot better. His poise is right there with the other two. Defense is a little lower. Physical's a lot better. So it's a trade-off in the sense that he may be a little less defensively responsible, but he brings a little more offense and discipline. So I want to offer him a 1-year, $1.5 million deal. He should accept that. Nobody else is interested in him. And we'll take a look just real quick at the centers. Wouldn't mind grabbing a depth center like a Chip Chura or a Reinhart. Somebody that can win face-offs, absolutely. Max Reinhart looks pretty good, as does Chip Chura. Chip Chura is a little older than I would like. I think we go after Max Reinhart. He only wants $900,000 and a two-way deal, so absolutely we want to pick him up. We'll go ahead and offer him a .950 in case anybody else is interested. And that will be all we do for free agency. Hopefully all those guys will get on the team. We want to, like I said, I want to do a couple other things in this video in terms of changing up the team a little bit. Alright, so Devontae Smith-Pelly could not join because we have a full roster. Same with Max Reinhart. That's troublesome. The other three did join, so let's go ahead and move out a couple other players real quick. Hopefully nobody's grabbed those two up. I thought we had room for 4 or 5 new contracts, but I guess not. But that's alright. We'll go to rookie skaters here. We'll sort by overall. We'll just get a couple of these guys that aren't so great, that are signed. None of these guys are signed. We have a lot of prospects. So Tarkey is only 69 overall at 21. It's definitely a guy we can move out. Hopefully I didn't just sign him. I don't think I did. It's looking like we could probably move out Zaborovsky. I believe he's 22. Go ahead and move him out as well. We'll move out one more just to have a little bit of room in case we want to sign somebody else later on down the road. Let's see how these guys are. These guys are so 25, 75 overall. Callie Anderson. I want to hang on to him for the AHL. So we'll move out. Move out Orzog. I want to hang on to defense. Well, yeah, we can afford to move out one of these two. I'm going to actually move out Callie Anderson. And we'll just get a 7th round pick back. Because I am simply just moving these guys out. So I can bring in Devontae Smith-Pelly and Max Reinhart. I know we could have got more for that, but that's kind of just cheating the system. So, let me just get these guys back real quick. Alright, so Reinhardt is still there. Nobody's interested still, which is good. And alright, good. So they're both still there, so thankfully that little mistake shouldn't be too costly. 1 year, 1.5. He should accept that. We'll see. So we'll go ahead and just advance a week here. Alright, so Devontae Smith-Pelly and Max Reinhart are on the team. We'll go ahead and simulate to the preseason. Go to September 16th here. I don't think we'll be doing like a full season in this video or anything like that, because we do have a lot that I want to change around first. Like I said, we're going to look at modifying the team strategies a little bit. Where we have so many offensive defensemen, I think we need to kind of have a more aggressive defensive style. That way they can join in on the rush, they can pinch in a little bit. Hopefully that will drive our offense up a bit. But we shall see. So, once all this simulation catches up, we'll take a look at the line, see how everybody's grown in the off season, and we will take it from there. Alright, so we'll see who they already have up in the NHL. So Bennett is up to a 91 now. He is listed as a franchise, which he was not before, so that's very good to see. Buchnevich has not grown. He's still an 84, still listed as a third liner, so we will keep him down there. Stepan is listed as a second liner, so that works. Zuccarello's still an 85. Yurko's an 86. We'll go ahead and switch these two around. That way it's sniper, playmaker, power forward. Then we have a sniper and two playmakers here. Kevin Hayes is listed as a third liner as well. And then we have Fost, Curdiles, and Pelly. And that's going to work out nice because we can move Curdiles there. Well, let's not get too ahead of ourselves here. Alright, so Seeloff is a 79. But I believe we will have a defenseman we can bring up that will be better. Shesterkin is an 83. Lundqvist has dropped to an 85. He's listed as a fringe starter. He has 2 years remaining on his contract, so that's disappointing. He is 37, so I kind of expected that. Ryan Gropp is an 83. Vahatalo is an 81. Alright, so I think a lot of these guys are going to be ready. I guess Sorella is up with the NHL team. He's just scratched. Yeah, so Hintonen is our second round draft pick in 2017. He is absolutely ready for that bottom defensive pair, which is great. Goalies, Bader is an 85. He's listed as an elite. We need to get Bader on the team. I think the issue here is that having Lundqvist, we're not trading Lundqvist. I will not trade him because, they would not in the actual NHL be trading Lundqvist. He will retire a New York Ranger, and we will leave him that way as well. The bad thing there is that this may kind of damage Shesterkin, but the way his potential is dropped, I think it's a risk we can afford to take. But Bader absolutely needs to come up. With him being an elite potential goalie, it's a move that we need to make. Alright, so that's okay. So they have Seeloff playing instead of Larson. So I think what we can do is potentially trade Seeloff. We did just sign him. It's a very cheap contract, so I don't know. We'll think about that one. Let's go ahead and just make this move. Let's see. Forwards. We'll sort by overall here. So there's a couple that we need to bring up. Reinhardt's only a 78. He's going to go down to the AHL, as is Jesper Fost. Sorella jumped up to an 84. That's good. And then we'll bring up definitely Gropp, and I believe Vahatalo as well. Let's see. He's fourth liner. Face-offs are pretty terrible, though. Top 6 potential. I don't think he's going to get better unless we play him. Gropp absolutely is ready. Vahatalo I'm not so sure about. Of course, Stelev still listed as a minor. So is Marsh. Alright, so do we bring up Vahatalo? Defensive awareness is good. Shot blocking's okay. Face-offs are horrible. But with Curdiles down there, we'll bring him up and see what best lines look like once we bring those guys. Now the other one was this defenseman, Hintonen. He's listed as a top 6. His defensive category is good. Physical's not great, but if we paired him with McElrath, I don't think that'd be a problem. Passing is very good. He has a good shot. I think this guy could be good on the power play, but that means moving a defenseman. So Seeloff's listed as a top 6, top 4, top 6, top 6. All right, so definitely want to hang on to Larson. All those guys. It's going to be between Ouellette and McElrath. How did Ouellette do last year for us? 82 games played. He had 7 goals, 1 assist, and was a -10. And then McElrath. Oh, jeez. All right, here we go. 2 goals, 3 assists, and was a -2. So he was more responsible in terms of the plus-minus. Took a lot of penalty minutes, though. Not very disciplined. He's very physical. And that's something we don't really have outside McElrath. So I think it's time to let Ouellette go and keep Seeloff as our 7th. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. We'll go ahead and send Ouellette down for now. And now let's go best lines. While I'm thinking about it, I'm going to go ahead and actually move out Xavier Ouellette. I'm sure there will be a team that wants him. And he's got some trade value, so that's good to see. Alright, Arizona wants him. Wouldn't mind getting a rookie back, like this Girard. Can be the new Girardi. It's an offensive defense. Let's take a look at him. Left-handed. The first round draft pick a couple of seasons ago. You know what? Let's see if we can just trade for Girard and possibly a 4th round pick. I don't think we could get anything higher than that. Will that go through? No. Without the pick? No. Alright. See if there's any other team really quickly that would want him. That can also afford him. Seems like Arizona's going to be... Alright, LA. See if they have any good rookies that they'd be willing to give up. This Zancannaro, 74 overall at 20. Okay, he was their first round draft pick from last year. He's a two-way forward. He's elite potential, 20, 74 overall. His trade value is a bit higher. If we threw in maybe Quenneville, I think that would go through. Quenneville, I don't think is going to turn into anything. He's a 78 at 21. He may actually. Yeah, I don't like that trade. I want to do just a 1-for-1, pretty simple trade here. We're just trying to clear off a spot because we have too many defensemen, which is a good problem to have. The issue is just finding a team that can take him, and I really want to avoid giving him to a team in the same conference as us. Let's just try. Arizona is going to be the easiest. Let's just try to do something else with them. Potentially just get a draft pick or 2. We'll go after their 2nd, and we'll just get a rookie back as well. Let's see. So we could get Zaborovsky back that we just moved out. I'm not going to do that. Fournier. How old is Fournier? He's 25. 81 overall. Very low trade value. very low defense category. That would explain that. Alright. This is proving to be a little more tedious than I anticipated. Yeah, let's just get him to Florida. At least it's not the same conference as us. So rookie skaters. Let's just look at Suter, offensive defenseman, right-handed, 20 years old, 68 overall. Kolanos, 21, 74 overall, power forward center. And Par Lilja, top 6 potential. I like this Par Lilja guy. I'm going to go after him. I think with that, we could also throw in a draft pick potentially. Try their third. Of course, now it's saying they're not interested in him. That's a wonderful glitch in this game. So I don't know if this will go through either. Apologies for this taking so long. There we go. Alright. So, we'll go to roster moves. Not sure what the issue is. And then we'll just hit best lines once again. And now we have the defenseman that we need. So, only thing else I want to do in this video, we're going to go through the team strategies here. So on the forecheck, I really like the thought of having it pretty aggressive still. So we're going to keep it aggressive. On the neutral zone, don't want to play the trap. We'll keep it, yeah, I like that. For the trap forecheck, bump that up a little bit. Offensive pressure, aggressive, I want the defense taking some chances. Defensive pressure, again, I want them very aggressive. I do want them to collapse on, you know, the front of the net and the slot. For the penalty kill, we're going to stick with the passive box. For the power play, overload. Yeah, we're going to keep the overload, and we're going to turn down the dump and chase. And that will be good. Now my defensive pairing 1, I want them to pinch in more because they have the speed, they have the offense, they're both, you know, elite franchise defensemen. Second pairing, I want them to cycle it a little bit more. Now the third pairing, definitely want them mainly holding the line, and I want them shooting. So that will be good. In terms of the forward lines, I don't want to go through all of this as much, but I do want the second line to be overloading as well. Third line behind the net, and fourth is crash the net. Yep, so that's perfect. Alright, so hopefully those changes will help us a little bit. I think we'll see a little more from McDonough and Hedman. Hopefully the first and second line as well. So, go through this again. It's looking like we have way too many forwards, which, again, hopefully is going to be a good thing this year. So we want to keep Buknovich there, I think. His face-offs are excellent, so yeah. Ryan Gropp. I want to give him a shot. And then I think we want Sorella here, because we definitely need to get Sorella on the ice. We may be needing to move out a forward, but Sorella is going to go there on the third line with Buknovich and Gropp. It's another pretty young line. Kurdiles, I think we may want to replace. I think it's definitely time to say goodbye to Kurdiles. And our fourth line is essentially just another third line. May not work out. For the time being, we're going to leave it. Let's see who's scratched. So Lilja, who will be moving down, Bahatalo and Kurdiles. Need to bring up a seventh defenseman. And we'll probably ship out Kurdiles, but that's okay. On defense, we have Hedman and McDonough. Shea, I want with, hold on. I don't think he's up here now. I don't know why they sent him down. Alright, bear with me 1 second. I know this is kind of tedious. we need to send down Lilja. And we need to bring up that other defenseman, I believe. Yep, seal off. Here we go. Right? I believe. Okay. Before I do that, I think the goalies are going to be switched again. No? Okay. So that should do that. Now we have our... And I hit best lines again. Fantastic. The menu system in this game is very clunky. Thankfully it didn't mess up this line. Okay, good. So now scratched we have... So we'll have Vahatalo and Seeloff, and then Kurdiles is going to be traded out. Goalies, we have Lundqvist and Bader. Special teams, we're going to have Bennett, Kreider, Zuccarello. I'm actually okay with that. Buknovich, Stepan, and Reeder. That should be okay. We'll have Larson here with Brady Shea, and then McDonough and Hedman. Four-man power, yeah, that's fine. Penalty kill. Miller and Hayes, Gropp and Sorella. I want to get Devontae Smith-Pelly in there. Definitely need a hard, a really hard checking forward on the penalty kill. And then Miller and Sorella. Don't want Sorella taking face-offs. Miller and Hayes. I think that'll be fine. Alright. Let me just real quick make sure everybody's playing in the AHL that needs to be. Gentile. Dingle needs a spot. Lyson needs a spot. Alright, so we need to get Dingle and Lyson. Dingle and Lyson. Go ahead and scratch David Jones for Lyson. I believe he was a right winger. Yep. Alright, and we're going to actually move him up considerably. Of course, Stelev. We'll go ahead and move up Jesper Foss since he's already at his peak. And then Lyson. We'll just 7. Alright, so we'll put him here and then move him where we need to. He may just be best on this. Dingle. Lyson was the other guy that's already in there, right? Yep. Okay, so let's get him on the power play real quick. We'll get him instead of... Not instead of... Wow. Get him instead of Jesper Foss if the controller would read what I'm telling it to do. So David Jones will not be playing at all, but it's part of the game, I guess. Goalies. Don't know why they don't have Skapski, but this guy's got potential. I might actually keep it that way. All right. So we've changed our team strategies. We've got our lineups ready. One last thing to do before we actually get underway with the season, and that is to move out Kurdiles. He's not been that consistent of a player for us, and we just have too many forwards. Kind of low trade value. I'm going to go ahead and just send him off to Anaheim. Potentially get a 3rd round pick for him. That would be nice. Too many skaters. We know Arizona's going to have too many. Alright, let's see. Maybe Calgary will have room. Or not. Alright, Edmonton. Can always use another forward, right? Alright, there we go. So, I want to see how the scoring does with our lines being the way they are, the way our strategies are set up. We'll go through preseason and potentially a month of the regular season here. Alright, we got to get the scouting before we can do that. Honestly, I'm pretty satisfied with all the rookies that we have. We've developed a pretty strong team down in the AHL. Have a lot of really good forwards, a lot of really good defense. So we are doing incredibly well in the preseason, which in the past has not suggested that we will do very well once the regular season gets going. But we were 6-0-1. Kevin Hayes had 8 points in 7 games, leading the team, and he is a 4th liner, so pretty good. Good points all around. But we are going to go ahead now and go through, we'll stick to 5 games at a time. So I'll probably only do the first 10 games of this season. And we start off with a loss. Start off with 2 losses and an injury. Hooray. So, really good start so far to this season, going 0-3. Though in the past we have began a season with a very good record, and we are repaid with a very poor end and missing the playoffs. So, not going to freak out just yet. See if anybody's really done anything yet. Alright, it's really too soon to tell. It's only 3 games. Get our first win, which is a shootout win. 5-4 shootout win. So it seems like, yet again, our offense is horrible. So we'll go another 5 games here. And after that, depending on how the team looks, we will probably be ending the video. Yeah, this team's looking pretty terrible. Go ahead and take a quick look at player morale. So Derek Stepan thinks the team hasn't been performing well. Anybody with eyes could see that. Seeloff is not happy. That's okay. So, Kevin Hayes is injured with a broken nose. We'll go ahead and replace him. Both of our wins this season have been shootout wins. We are 2-6. 2-7. So all of our wins this season have been shootout wins. Interesting. We've yet to get one ROW, regulation overtime win, and there it is. 3-0 shutout. And we lose another. And another. So we'll go ahead and get Kevin Hayes back in real quick. Tell you, I just don't understand what is up with this. He's back for 1 game and he's got a broken nose again. So this team is doing just as poorly as the past 2 seasons. Sam Bennett is leading us with 8 points in 15 games. Buknovich has 5 goals. We do have very low scoring. Very, very low scoring. So, not looking good for the New York Rangers here. Our offense is a 93, yet we can't manage to score more than 2 goals in a game. I blame that more on simulating than anything. But clearly something is just not right with this team. Honestly, don't know what it is. So, we are going to end the video right there. Feel free to leave me any comments, suggestions, what we can do to make this team, I don't want to say better, because literally anything can make the team better, but something that can make the season kind of get a turnaround in terms of maybe the strategies, editing that. Just let me know, and I'll see you in the next.